Good evening. Good evening to the participants from India. Very good morning, participants from US. And welcome to the fifth episode of the webinar series which we are having on health and hygiene during COVID times, organized by, coordinated and organized by Crowd Product, the pioneers in new age customer engagement. So today we have a national champion in a very special art form called Muay Thai martial arts. So let's welcome Mr. Nitin Anjaneya, who is a national champion, uh, trained under masters like Dhruv and Kumar. He has trained across the world from grandmasters like Detlef and Evgeny. He's the 10th Khan Muay Thai black belt in kickboxing, and he's certified under Basic Life Support System. So welcome, Nitin. Nice to have you here today.
Thank you, Natarajan, for the introduction.
Yeah. Yes. So Nitin, we the topic which we've been talking about in the last 5 weeks has been about how to keep ourselves healthy, fit, and stress-free during these lockdown times. Mainly because most of us are not really used to working from home and having to juggle between work, home, and personal life. And in the process, we are not able to focus on good health. Good health in terms of physical and mental as well as spirits, which we have. So we have had various speakers. So today we decided to speak to you to get inputs from you about how to keep ourselves fit, how to keep ourselves engaged during these times. So one of the first questions which I would like to ask you, what is Muay Thai? There are few of us who are wondering what it is. We do know it's a martial art form, but then we would like to know details from you.
Yeah. So Muay Thai is an art of 8 limbs. So we use these 8 limbs to strike, stand-up striking. We use it for offense and defense. It is a national sport of Thailand, and it is about 2,000 years old. And a lot of research has gone into the sport.
Okay.
So we use 8 limbs. So what are these 8 limbs? So we have 2 fists to strike, and then we have 2 elbows to strike, and then we have 2 knees and 2 feet, or the shin, the hard part of the feet. So what are these attacks? I'd like to just demonstrate. So you take the fighting stance, you make a tight fist, and you throw punch, right punch, and then we have close range attacks, which is the left elbow and right elbow. And then we have the middle range attacks, which is the left knee and right knee. And then we have the long range attacks, the kicks. So when I talk about these attacks, it's about using different ranges when you strike. So if your opponent is too far away, you have to be very aware of your surroundings. You do not let him closer to you. You use your legs to keep him at a long range. Do not let him close. If he still comes closer, movements.
Enemy or person.
Physical,
right?
yes.
Sitting at home. So how is it going to help us combat stress?
Okay. So when I say we develop a lot of skills, like motor skills, so to do all of these, we have certain exercises, certain drills, like shadow boxing. So we have to visualize these drills, visualize an opponent when your opponent is not around. Say he's throwing a punch, you have to visualize ducking and then striking. So there's a lot of mind work involved to develop. And like I said, there's a lot of decision making also. So you have to be very quick in a fight. So to develop these decision making skills, we have a lot of drills, we have a lot of games, we have fun while we train. It's about play sparring, trying to build the instincts. So what happens when you have fun while you train? So when you're using these drills, okay, you're involving yourself in the drill. You're building a focus and concentration. Once you start liking these drills and start playing, having fun, obviously your stress levels are going to go down. Your exercise need not be a hard routine where you go to the gym, work hard, come back, take a selfie. No, you can just have fun with whatever you do and try to learn something that you can apply in Muay Thai. Say, for example, Bruce Lee says we have to understand the art of acting, unacting, or unacting acting, or it's about being. It's to put it in very simple words. It's about bringing the natural instinct and the control in harmony. So bringing that together. So in this process, we will understand a lot about our mind. We will be able to calm our mind. And I learned something from an activity using this paper ball. So I try to pick things up, create new games, and give it to my students. The palm, and if I'm too rigid, my palm is too rigid, which is my instinct. I quickly grab to catch the ball. It's going to bounce off.
Okay.
It's going to bounce off. Okay. If I have to not catch the ball and still keep the ball on my palm, I have to understand how to reduce the force. Okay. So that's where the control kicks in. Okay, it's just physics. So we use moment of inertia. When we catch a cricket ball, it's a basic example that everybody learns about. So you catch the cricket ball, you move the hand away to kill the power. Yes. There we are doing the ball bounce off. So what you do, So what you do is as soon as you catch, you drop the hand very slowly in control and get to a state of flow. Just have fun with the ball. You do this for quick reflexes. How can you work on that? So you use the palm. I have to bounce with the palm facing up. Before the ball comes down, I have to turn and bounce with the ball facing, palm facing down. So I start bouncing up and down and start moving around while I do that. If it gets easier, bounce the ball slightly higher. Start moving around. So that way you're building a lot of fine motor skills. So what are these fine motor skills? So small muscular movements are the fine motor skills. Okay. For example, the movement of the wrist, the movement of the ankle, where very small muscles are involved. And what is gross motor skills? Where you use punches, legs, where the bigger group is involved. So for kids who are developing, this is not only for kids, for everybody, but for kids who are developing, it's like two small lion cubs playing around to strengthen their bones, to practice the movements of hunting as they grow. So anybody can practice these drills. Anybody. Over time, they'll build a lot of skills like balance, of course, the motor skills, and then vision, and then dexterity. You start using both the hands. So I try to implement a lot of games like this. Say Natarajan comes for the session. So Natarajan has gone through a lot during the day. He takes up an evening session. He has a lot of stress. He has to go through. He has to take care of his family. Has to take care of a lot of things in day-to-day life. So your mind is not empty when you want to train Muay Thai. So how do you empty it? Or take a kid, for example. He goes to school. He has homework. He has assignments. He has projects. He has exams. And then he has to deal with his parents also, who have a lot of restrictions sometimes. So if someone comes to the class, and I start asking them to throw 100 punches, 100 kicks, they're not going to do it. They're not going to have fun. They're not going to enjoy. But if I ask them to start playing a game, if I ask you to start playing this game, you're going to forget about your work. You're going to forget about everything. I catch your attention. Then I tell you what you have to do in Muay Thai.
Oh, okay. But these games are also part of the training. It's also part of the learn.
Yeah, it's kind of, yes, definitely. It's kind of vice versa. You're building skills through these games to do more Muay Thai. And Muay Thai also builds certain skills to be better at these games. So, at these games. So we played a very authentic top Bangkok gym where a lot of top champions train. So you see a lot of people hitting pads, and you'll see a lot of people having fun. They make these funny noise called "oi." So I put this in the quiz.
Okay.
So those who have not taken the quiz, please take the quiz. It's a funny quiz. Okay.
Yeah.
So they keep making these noise. When do they make this noise? So when you have to kick, when the kick is powerful, your audience will love the kick. They raise their hands up and say, "Oi!"
Oh.
So every time you keep throwing these kicks. So we had these drill called rapid kicks, where in 20 seconds you throw around 40 kicks.
Okay.
It's fast kicks. So each time they throw a hard kick, they're going to say, "Oi, oi." They have fun, and they try to play spar with each other. Okay. So what is this play spar? Same like the Lion Cubs having fun.
Okay.
So we just use very light movements, very little power and speed to tag the opponents. So we see openings and tag them. Opening, tag them. And to build this skill, the fight instinct, we have another drill. For example, I'm in my fighting stance.
Yeah.
I have another opponent right in front of me in the fighting stance. He's moving. I'm also moving. Together, we get into this thing. Then I start tagging the shoulder, my opponent's shoulder, while he's trying to evade and block. He'll start trying to tag me while I try to evade and block. Use my footwork, go forward, go back, move to the side. If I tag, I win. And all he has to do is 5 push-ups because he lost. So same way, if I have to work on my footwork only, I just bend down a little bit, like how we play kabaddi. Bend down a little bit and try to tag his knee. So he keeps shuffling between the footwork, right forward, goes forward, comes back, and I try to tag the knee. If he loses, all he has to do is 5 squats. So we keep changing these drills.
You have these kind of drills and activities which are fun. And,
yes, fun.
And also it helps you learn the art form in a much easier manner.
Yes. And when we have a lot of these activities implemented in Muay Thai, there is no question of stress. It's about having fun.
That is good. Yeah. Coming back to the quiz.
So if you're not combating, if you're not fighting with anybody, you can just do the activities and have fun. Sure. You're building a lot of skills. So it's highly unlikely that you'll probably be clumsy around a corner, or you'll not trip or fall. You will stop dropping things. You'll be very aware of your surroundings. So that's the idea.
So these are the things which help us in our daily life.
Yes, these are the things that will help us. We'll have better balance and awareness about
better motor skills. We are more aware about ourselves as well as the surroundings. We don't become clumsy. We become much more aware. Yeah, that's very good. Coming up, telling about the quiz. Yes, for the participants, I would say the viewers can participate in a fun quiz, which is available in the crowd product link, which has some very easy 5 questions, multiple choices, and the winners have a chance to win 2 free online training sessions from Nitin, the national champion. So do participate and make it fun. Yeah. So Nitin, coming back to the discussion which we're having about it being a stress buster. You were talking about, while I understand that it's a stress buster and all that, you have explained so beautifully in terms of the exercises and the fun games that you're having. You were mentioning about dexterity, you were mentioning about coordination, you're mentioning about calming the mind. So these things actually, these words and these phrases triggered a thought in my mind, a question in my mind. It might sound very juvenile and silly for you, but I thought I should ask you. See, any other activity, sports activity, either called a combat, or it's called a sport, or it's called a competition, right? Why is the martial art form called martial arts?
When people used Muay Thai, so Muay Thai was used by the Siamese army to fight against the Burmese. So it was used as a martial art form. back then it was just about fighting. Slowly over time, people started doing a lot of research and started living a way of life when it comes to martial arts. So they have certain practices, the way of life, what they eat, and how they train, a lot of things like these. So over time, with a lot of research, it became a way of life. And of course, we had great legends like Bruce Lee, Muhammad Ali, who had a certain vision to develop martial arts and who had their own reasons to follow these arts. And it's about finding your own reason. It became about finding your own reason to express yourself over time. So if I have to train the sport as a martial art and use it to live my life, it's called martial arts. It's up to you. If you have to demonstrate this to someone on a stage, it's called a sport. So over time, what happened was a lot of demonstrations started to happen. So if I have to demonstrate Muay Thai or the martial art against you, either of us will get hurt. Yeah. So we cannot do that. So we bring the sport aspect to it. We put in a lot of rules and call it a sport where we just demonstrate the sport. So that is the difference between martial art and sport. And another very important difference that I personally believe is when you start living a way of life, living the martial arts life. So it's about building your confidence. It's about building all of the qualities that I mentioned earlier. You have a lot of qualities. You build a lot of confidence and you walk around with that confidence throughout your life. With any other sport, what happens is you still have the ability to be ambidextrous, agile, a lot of things. You may be able to be very athletic, but you will not walk around the confidence that you can take 4 to 5 people down. You can defend yourself. You can walk in that empty street without thinking about anything because you have that power to destroy something. And at the same time, you also have the understanding that I don't want that chaos. I want to avoid that life. So this is the martial art aspect. So in Asian countries, what happened? Before it was just war. Use this in war. Over time, they started adding aspects like philosophy, religion, spirituality, and way of life into martial arts. So if I'm not against any sport. If I have to take some sport and say I have a skill, I can bowl very fast, one at 150 kilometers per hour. Can I walk in an empty street with that skill? Can I be very confident that I'm a fast bowler? I can bowl at a fast pace and walk in an empty street. So there's a difference. You may be fit, you may be very agile. That will definitely help. But to know that you can destroy something and you choose not to is a very important feeling. It's an emotion that you have and you live throughout the life. So that is why it's not a sport. It's a martial art.
So in addition to the physical aspects, you bring in the control of the mind, you bring in
control of the mind,
focus, and yes, these things actually change you as an individual too.
So what you do in the process, you weave body, mind, and soul. You build a bond between these. You build a connection, and that connection is completely under your control. You choose to break it or you choose not to break it.
That's very interesting. Nitin, I gather that you also teach, you also coach students on this art form, and you conduct classes.
Yes.
Like, how do you go about doing that? Like, do you have a special gym or what is the play? Where do you teach? You go to people's homes, or it is a group teaching, or do you have a studio for yourself? How do you teach people on this?
Before the crisis, I used to teach in different parks. So I believe in training in the open air.
Okay.
Fresh oxygen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we are very close to the nature when we do that.
Okay.
So sometimes I ask them to train on the soil, on the mud. Sometimes we train under the trees.
Okay.
We usually train in the morning where there's enough sunlight and there's a lot of green around. So it's a very soothing effect in the morning, and it's a nice way to start the class. And of course, we make those fun noises, or we pull each other's leg, have fun. So our day is energized when we train. So since we've
But now it must be difficult with the lockdown and the social distancing. Now you don't have these spaces. So how are you coaching?
Yeah. So this brings a thought in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm a follower of Bruce Lee's philosophy.
Okay.
He says, "Be water, my friend." So
be
what
water,
does this
yes.
mean? Yes. So what does this "be water, my friend" mean? So it's very simple. To put it in simple terms,
yes.
it's about survival of the species that are most adaptable.
Yes.
So you will be facing a lot of adversities in life. You might face anything in life. If you are water, you may be put in a bottle, or like Bruce Lee says, cup, bottle, teapot, anything.
Yes, anything.
Just take the space, embrace the chaos, and make use of what you have. Start thinking positive. So we could be at home cribbing about our situation, cribbing about a lot of things. Or at the same time, we could be thinking in a positive way. Okay. Just like water, which seeks some crack to just make opportunity and just flow through.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have to make way and create opportunities to train. So right now, what I'm focusing on is online classes. I conduct online classes, and this is my studio. And I believe that wherever I go is my studio. I'm a mobile gym. All I need is what's in here to teach.
Yes.
And this is an unlimited storage capacity. So it'll take an eternal to store and fill it up. So whatever I have, I try to give. And that does not mean that you have to take everything in. Again, let's bring in Bruce Lee's quote. Take what is useful, reject what is useless, and apply your own style to it and master whatever you do. So that's what I do with Muay Thai too. So right now I'm conducting these online classes. So definitely there are certain limitations when you do these online classes. I miss sparring with someone. I miss hitting the bag, or I miss going for a run. So there are certain limitations. So what do? I either crib about it, or I create opportunity, or I think positive. So if we have to think positive during these times, how can we do that? So if you see for the past 10 years, when has the air quality been the best? It's now. When has the noise pollution gone down? It's now. Start with your breathing exercises. Start with increasing your VO2 levels, VO2 max levels, which is the oxygen holding capacity of the body. So start working with the chemical process in the body. This is the best time to work on breathing exercises. And also, since we are not traveling, we're all at home. I understand that we all are busy and we have to do our work from home. Yeah, we're still busy. But we have this traveling time that we're not using. So use that traveling time to build skills, have fun, be curious, try to release the stress that you build up. And also you can use the breathing techniques. So I practice a couple of breathing techniques like the box breathing or the square breathing, and then Wim Hof breathing, and then the standard diaphragmatic breathing. Yeah. So whenever I'm free, I do this breathing techniques. So I could probably give one.
And these are part of
these are part of the training. So yes, definitely. So these are part of the training, but this is the right time to do it because we have fresh air, more of it. So what benefits do these breathing exercises have? We know that breathing exercises bring about calmness in yourself, and then reduces the stress. So that is the mental aspect, the meditation. So what does it do physically for a Muay Thai fighter? Like I said, it increases the VO2 max. So it increases the oxygen holding capacity in the body. You are very aware of breathing. So in Muay Thai, we have a 9-minute match. 3 minutes into 3 rounds. And we are constantly throwing attacks, blocking. We are doing a lot of work, not only physical work. We are using our brain to block, defend, offend, move around, try to evade the attacks, try to hit hard, try to absorb the shock, counter back. So a lot of activity is happening inside the body. For all of these activity, the most important fuel is oxygen. If you panic, if you are not able to give oxygen to the body, if it's not conscious, you're going to gas out. You're going to just freeze. If someone attacks, you're going to just freeze. There's not much oxygen going to the brain. You'll just panic. You don't know what to do. The flight or fight will kick in, but there's no oxygen in the brain. You don't know what to do with it. You will just freeze. You will not run or you will not fight. So we work on these techniques. So I could probably give one breathing exercise, which is a box breathing for the audience. It's very simple and easy. So all you have to do is breathe out. Yeah, we have a question.
Yeah, I mean, before the question, I would like to remind the viewers that your online coaching starts from May 3rd, and it is for these coaching classes. You get 2 free coaching classes in case you win the quiz. So please participate in the quiz and have fun.
Win the quiz.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So one of the breathing techniques that I follow is box breathing. It's called square breathing or vritti sama pranayama. So here what we do is first you breathe out through your mouth, empty
breathe out through your mouth.
Breathe out through your mouth, empty your system, and slowly breathe in through your nose for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Hold it there for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out through your mouth for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it there again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then breathe in through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So this is the box breathing. So imagine a square. You inhale, hold, exhale, hold, inhale, hold.
Oh, so the box is the cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle.
Okay.
Hence it's called the square breathing.
I was trying to visualize how do I remember how many times do I hold and what is the cycle. So that cycle, you have explained it so clearly.
It's called 4-4-4-4 also. Okay. So you can use these for building your performance and stress relief and increasing your calmness and being more aware of what you have around. Yeah.
We have a question from one of the viewers who is asking, do we require any equipment to learn this, like a punching bag or pads? How to?
Yeah. So if we did not have the crisis going on, we would definitely need all of these over time to practice. That is definitely a part of the Muay Thai. But since we do not have this, we try to train various aspects in Muay Thai. For example, how to make a fist. I will teach you how to make a fist, and then I'll explain about how the fine motor skills, how the metacarpals have to be aligned with the bone to strike. So the technical aspect of training happens during online sessions, and I will still teach you how to throw punches, how to throw elbows, how to throw knees and kicks. So that is the basic. Then what happens is we learn how to visualize a fight, try to simulate a fight, and do shadow boxing. Shadow boxing is nothing but visualizing your opponent and striking the air. And we do a lot of footwork drills, which can be done from your home. And then a lot of, again, games, fun, a lot of learning philosophy, and then how to build discipline when it comes to training, how to get inspired, how to motivate, how to build a habit. So we train about all of these things for now. And then as soon as the crisis gets over, hopefully soon, let's just pray. Yeah. So as soon as that gets over, we can quickly change the track from this to actual striking and try to apply whatever we learned in. So then we could probably get a bag, gloves, do some pad work, do some sparring with our partners. So I hope I've answered the question. Yeah.
Thank you. So when you speak about sparring, there's another question that's come up. When does one start sparring?
So it depends. In the West, it's different. In the East, it's different. And the way I teach is different. So first, what I do is, unless you get control of your body, unless you can harmonize the natural instinct and control, I will not let people spar. Otherwise, they'll hurt their ego. They're going to get into a fight with the sparring partner. They do not understand how to have fun. Then the ego will be hurt, and then it could turn. And the technical aspect is injuries. So we don't want to get injured while we do something we love. So what I do is, first we start with the basics. Start with punching, shadow boxing, balance drills, agility, and we also work on our peripheral vision. So what is this peripheral vision? So if I'm striking, I'm looking at my opponent's eyes. I have to build this skill to concentrate on the legs as well and concentrate on the hands as well, the upper and lower body while I'm looking at him. So if I have to attack him and I start looking at the leg and I strike the leg, I start looking at the head to strike the head, he's going to know that I'm going to throw the next strike to the head or to the lower body. Same way, when I have to defend, every time he throws a kick, I look at his leg. Every time he throws a punch, I look at his punch. After some time, he's going to fake and feint. He's going to play tricks with me. He'll move his leg and throw a punch from top. So I need to build these skills of peripheral vision, awareness, surrounding. So once I know my athletes have learnt this, that's when I'm going to put them to spar with the others.
Fun. Yeah. So as I understand, Nitin, you're saying that there are two aspects to this entire learning process. One is there are certain basic skill sets which can be done, which can be learned and practiced at home without these equipments like a punching bag or gloves, or even without a partner, right? And as we get good at it, we move to the next level where we involve these things, and hopefully by then the lockdown is lifted and we are able to do that. Okay. There's another question which is coming up, and two questions in fact. Tell me.
Yes. So, and this itself is going to take a lot of time to learn.
Okay.
So you imagine you have a bar graph. Bar graph for punches. You start the graph. Okay. You learn elbows as well. You start the graph. Okay. It's going to take a lifetime to be the one punch guy. Who can knock anybody out in the world with just one punch. So it's a continuous learning process. Every time you refine, learn something about just the simple jab. So there's no end to this. Yeah.
So like
go for the questions.
we don't have to fret that we don't have this equipment. We have a learning phase where we can do these things at home without this equipment. And your online classes do actually addresses these kind of things, right?
Yes. So as you progress, as you are more aware, you will start making your own equipment.
Oh, very good.
You'll
Okay.
start finding, that's the deal. You'll start
Yeah, the
finding
paper ball.
your own stuff. You make your
Okay.
own gloves. Yeah, you make your own gloves. You make your own punching bag. Have fun.
Okay. Good. The question which came up is we have a long distance runner, and the question
Okay.
is whether Muay Thai will help in endurance for long distance running.
Yes, it's a good question.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So in Muay Thai, there are certain aspects that we focus on. One thing
Okay.
is strength and conditioning. Second thing is speed and agility. Third thing is the stamina part. Fourth thing is the endurance part, where you have to go and fight for all the 3 rounds till the last bell is rung. And we do not know in the process how many hits we are going to take.
Okay.
We will just train to strike, to attack. We'll probably do a couple of defense movements to learn how to defend. But during the training session, every day we are not going to put ourselves through that much of an intensity and take hits. So as soon as we go and start fighting in the ring, we will be taking a lot of hits. It's going to drain our endurance, stamina, all of that. So we have to be prepared. So we have to train for a long term, say 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So if we have to fight for 9 minutes, we train for 20 minutes or say 25 minutes, 5 rounds into 5. So if we have to build that endurance to train long term. So in Thailand or even in my classes, what we do is after the training, when we have to bring in the fun part, the coach will say, do 100 kicks on the right leg. When everything is done, when you're almost uh, done with your energy reserve, you do 100 kicks and you 100 kicks with the left leg and right leg. So what this does is it builds your endurance, builds that um, capacity to push the threshold a little further each time. And then also, it's very difficult to keep your form right when you are very tired. So, which means your brain has to do the work of keeping the form right when you're tired. So, to have all of these right, if we do not train our endurance, we're going to lose in the fight, or we're going to get hurt or injured in the fight. So, definitely, we have to train our endurance.
Thank you. That's nice. And so again, a reminder to the viewers: they can participate in the quiz and win 2 free online sessions from you. Your sessions start on 3rd of May. Am I right?
Yes, they start on 3rd of May.
Okay. So the sessions would be available on your Instagram handle, which you have the details of the session.
No. So, yeah. So I talk about. Whoever is interested can get in touch with me.
Yeah.
And I add them to my community. We are a group of around 50 people who train online. So I add them to the community and I share the link with them. So what exactly we do, I'm very active on Instagram. It's called Coach Potshorter. And there's another account which is very professional, which is called Potshotters. That's where all the training videos on. Very active on Instagram.
Yeah, in fact, I was seeing the posts on your Instagram handle. They're very interesting and very informative. But I'm very curious about this handle name, pot shot. What's that? It has got multiple connotations, so I would like to understand what that is.
Yes, sure. So it's not the pot shotter that a lot of people think it is. It's not about that. So pot shotting is a style of fighting. A fighter who throws a lot of pot shots is called a pot shot. So what are these pot shots? So if I'm in my fighting stance, okay, I'm using my left hand, and you are focusing on my left hand. I'm trying to trick you, and quickly, when you're least prepared, I'm going to strike with the lead hand.
Oh, okay.
So that is called a pot shot. It's just one single attack when you strike when your opponent is least prepared. So, for example, the most famous pot shotters are the greatest. Muhammad Ali is a pot shotter. Bruce Lee was a pot shotter. And there's this boxer called Vasily Lomachenko. He's a modern boxer with all modern techniques. He's brilliant. He's a pot shotter. And in Muay Thai, the greatest of all times, Sanchai is the pot shotter. Then Lerdzilla is a pot shotter. So I try to learn and try to use whatever these great fighters have used in my training and try to reject what is not useful. Okay. So that is the meaning of pot shotter. It's a style of fighting.
Because I was very curious to know, and was wondering what does it mean, because it has got a lot of other connotations also. Good. So we had a very nice session.
I keep getting this question a lot.
Yeah. Sai, do we have any more questions which are coming up? Because I am not able to see them.
Not as of now.
Okay. So that's wonderful, Nitin. We had some very fine inputs from you in terms of how this is and why this is called an art form. That was one of the topmost questions which I had in my mind. And you have explained it beautifully that you coordinate the motor skills, you control your palm and control your mind. You bring about a balance between the mind, body, and the soul. And that's why it is an art form. And learning this art form and practicing this art form can actually help us beat our stress levels. And yes, we can look forward to take your online coaching, which starts from May 3rd, and winners of the quiz would win 2 free online coaching sessions, right? So thank you so much, Nitin. It was wonderful having you here. And I'm sure the viewers, if they have any more questions, they can reach out to your Instagram handle. Either the personal one or the professional one. Either one is okay with you, right? Coach Pot Shotter and Pot Shotter. Both of them. Either they can reach out to you. Yeah. They can reach out to you and ask more questions and even ask details of the online classes which you have.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And I'd like to thank Crowd Product and Natarajan for moderating the webinar, and also my coach who's given me this life, Kru and Kumar. So he's given me all the knowledge. Yeah.
That's so nice of you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and stay safe, stay healthy, and good night.
Thank you. Good night.